This is my farm, which is on the verge of bankruptcy. Today, we'll do everything we can to grow our capital, starting with building a stone quarry and ending with buying new equipment. All of this is to ensure the farm starts bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars every month. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe to the channel and let's get started. Waking up early in the morning, it was a beautiful day, so I decided to focus on making some money. First, I decided to check on our production facilities. In the greenhouses, a lot of strawberries had grown, which would need to be sold. Next, I went to the sawmill, where I saw quite a few pallets and people who had come to buy them directly from the sawmill. This was a big plus for us, since it meant we wouldn't have to go anywhere to sell them. However, there was one problem. We didn't have anything to load all these pallets with, so I had no choice but to head to the store to buy a loader for the job. Arriving at the store, I chose a suitable option, which cost us $25,000. I also bought a pallet fork for it. We picked up our purchases from the store and headed back to the farm. Upon returning, we began loading all the pallets onto the trucks. The process wasn't difficult, and fortunately, it didn't take me much time. From selling all our pallets, we earned an additional $33,000, which was pretty good. After selling all the pallets, I decided to return to the strawberries to sell them as well. But first, I wanted to use the money we earned to buy a special trailer that would be much more convenient for transporting pallets than the old one. So, we take the tractor and head back to the store, where we buy a trailer with auto loading, which was exactly what we needed, costing us nearly $20,000. After the purchase, we head back to the greenhouses where, thanks to the auto loading feature, we quickly load all the strawberries onto the trailer. As you can see, now we can do this with little effort and, most importantly, without wasting much time. After loading, we calmly head to the sales point. We earned a little over $15,000 for all the strawberries, which is an excellent result. Returning to the farm, I noticed our windmill. Since we've already sold everything, now I want to focus on it. Since there was still some wheat grain left in storage, I loaded up one trailer of wheat for flour production so that we could earn a bit more from it than just selling it directly. So we unload all the wheat from the trailer into the mill, where the processing has already begun. Now we just have to wait for everything to turn into flour. Since we finished with the windmill, I then ran to the silage pit, which by this time should have been full of silage. Removing the tarp from one side, I saw that all the forage we had prepared had already fermented, so all the silage was ready to be sold. Without thinking too long, we grab the auger and start loading it into the trailer. After selling 1/3 of the silage, we had nearly $85,000 in the account, which was pretty good. I was just thrilled at how well we had developed our farm, and now we were making tens of thousands of dollars with little effort. I'm not going to stop there. I want to sell all the silage today, so I won't have to come back to it in the future. This work took me longer than I initially thought, as I was already loading the last trailer of silage in complete darkness. It was so dark that I had to turn on the headlights, but luckily, after the sale, I was done with this task, and we had $160,000 in our account. I was very pleased with such a large sum of money, so after returning to the farm, I calmly went to rest. The next morning, I was ready to spend all our money and decided to build something on a large scale. I remembered that not far from the store, I had seen a couple of cliffs and large rocks, so I thought about building a quarry. But first, I needed to find a suitable location. Upon arriving, I found the perfect spot with a large cliff, so I immediately began developing it. After building 3 small mines, I started improving the area, which included lighting, fencing the entire territory, and a small house for the workers. We spent about $45,000 on all of this, but these aren't all the expenses for this quarry, as we'll only be expanding in the future. After building the production site, we needed machinery to work there, specifically a heavy loader and transport for carrying the stones. So we head to the store, which fortunately isn't far away. At the store, I purchase a bulldozer and a bucket for it, costing us nearly $70,000. Afterward, we drive it to our site. We have just over $50,000 left, and I think that might not be enough for a truck and trailer, so we need to earn some more money. First, I decided to sell strawberries, earning $7,000 from them. Then, I went on to sell flour from the mill, which brought in another $20,000. Returning to the farm, I noticed that a lot of equipment was just sitting idle, so I decided to sell it, specifically everything related to grass harvesting. After selling it, we earned a little over $10,000. Now we have almost $100,000 in our account, which is much better, and I think it will be enough to buy a truck with a trailer. We head back to the store, and the first thing we buy is a trailer that can handle the weight of the stones. This option costs nearly $40,000. Next, we needed to buy a sufficiently powerful truck to go with it. We opted for an old American truck, which cost us another $60,000. Great, now we can pick up all our purchased equipment and head to our large quarry where we begin working on loading the stones at a steady pace. After loading the first mined stone into the truck, I decided to go sell it to see how much we could earn from it, even though there wasn't much of it. By selling less than half the trailer, we managed to earn $7,000, which wasn't bad at all. After all, we're getting the stones absolutely for free. However, there was a downside. It takes a long time to mine them. So I decided to focus on other tasks, specifically working on our production facilities. They were all running low on materials, with the sawmill needing wood and the greenhouses requiring water. I decided to start with the greenhouses, so we took the tanker and went to fill it up. Once the tanker was filled with water, we headed to the greenhouses, where we distributed the water evenly across the reservoirs. After that, we attached a trailer and took the remaining wheat from storage to the mill, where we unloaded it for flour production. The only task left was the sawmill, so we took our wood trailer and went to cut down trees. After cutting down 2 trees, we trimmed the branches and divided them into smaller pieces, which we then loaded onto the trailer and secured with straps. Next, we simply transported them to the sawmill. Upon arrival, we saw that a batch of pallets was ready for sale, so let's take care of that. We earned $35,000 from selling the pallets. Returning to the farm, there wasn't much work left, so I also decided to sell the strawberries. After selling them, we head home to rest, as today was quite a busy day. Waking up the next morning, I decided to head to our quarries. Since we earned some money yesterday, I decided to build another quarry to speed up the stone extraction process. It cost me $5,000, which isn't much considering it will pay off fairly quickly. After that, I began loading the stone that had accumulated overnight. Getting into the bulldozer, I slowly started scooping up the stone and carefully unloading it into the trailer. After some time, all the stone on the site was loaded, so I got into our truck and headed to the selling point. On the way, I admired the truck. Despite its age, it handles such a heavy load without any problems. Upon arrival, I sold all the stone, earning $25,000 for this trailer. Now, I am completely sure that building the quarry was worth it. Excellent income. On the way back, I decided to stop by the farm and do some upgrades to the truck in our workshop. After its transformation, we returned to the quarry. After parking the truck in its place, I decided to return to the farm and focus on selling all our goods. We had accumulated pallets of strawberries again, as well as pallets at the sawmill. After spending some time on this, our balance increased, and now we have just over $120,000, which makes me very happy. With the money we earned, I decided to buy a gold mining production facility, which cost us $30,000. To operate, it required stone, water, and gas. From the listed items, the only thing we didn't have was gas, so we also bought a gas production facility for $25,000. To produce gas, we needed silage, and fortunately, we already have a silage pit. We just need to harvest the crop and fill it. Returning to the farm, we still had a good amount of money in our account, so I decided to build another greenhouse to expand our strawberry production, which grows quite quickly and brings in a good profit. This cost us $10,000. After a few months, our corn harvest on the field ripened. The first thing I want to do is fill our silage pit so that, as you already know, we can process the silage into gas in the future. So we take the old harvester, attach the trailer, and head out to the field to start harvesting. The entire process is, as always, monotonous and quite long. After filling the first trailer with fodder, we go to unload it into the silage pit. But before that, we move the fodder pipe that was blocking the way. After unloading the entire trailer, we return to the field and continue working. After a few hours of work, I finally managed to successfully fill the silage pit with fodder. We can now safely return the harvester to the farm and start compacting all the fodder in the pit. This process took me quite a bit of time, but I managed to get it done and covered it with a tarp. I decided to harvest the remaining corn with the combine. So we take the combine and hire a worker to help with the harvest. Now, all I have to do is drive alongside and collect the corn into the trailer. After harvesting, we park the combine in its place, get into the tractor, and unload the last trailer of corn into the bin. Today was a rather tough day, so let's head to bed. Waking up the next month, I saw that our wheat harvest had ripened, which means it's time to harvest it as well. For this, we take our combine again and head to the wheat field this time, lower the header, and start working. At the same time, we bring our tractor here because when the combine's tank is full, we extend the auger pipe and unload all the harvested crop into the trailer. We then continue the harvest by hiring a worker and just wait until the next bin in the combine is full. After the first trailer of wheat is full, we take it to our bin and successfully unload it. In the future, we will transport this wheat to the mill. Continuing the work, after about 3 hours, the first large section of wheat was fully harvested. But that's not all. We move on to the second section and keep working. About an hour later, we take the full trailer of wheat to our mill, and by late evening, the work in the field was done. So we bring all the equipment back to the farm, and while I unload the remaining wheat into the mill, if you want to see the continuation, just subscribe to the channel. That's all for now. Bye.